How's it going, everybody? I'm Christian Van Hoos, Community Manager for the Elder Scrolls Legends, and we're back with another weekly stream on this wonderful Friday. If you guys are new, this is the time of week we usually just play some Legends, talk some Legends, give away some Legends. We got some pack codes, obviously, between games, and try to crush it in the arena. And as you guys know, this is a huge week for Legends. The Masters Series, which we announced a little bit over a week ago, starting this weekend with the first qualifier. I'm very excited. Justin Larson and Derek, aka Charmer, are casting the event. I don't know why I called him Derek, because everyone knows him as Charmer, but Justin is a special case because his screen name is his real name. But that's going to be casted on Sunday on the brand new twitch.tv/TES Legends. And if you forget that we have our own Twitch channel now and you show up here, it should be fine. We'll be hosting it anyway, but it's twitch.tv/TES Legends. And there's still time to sign up. It starts tomorrow. It's a 2-day event, 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Let's throw that link in the chat. It's the battle file link directly to the Qualifier 1 page, so you should be able to sign up right there. You can check out the announcement on our official site to see more details, but you can win part of a $1,000 prize pool, and if you get top 3, you go to QuakeCon and you might walk away with 20 grand, or another part of that $50,000 prize pool. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. And while you guys start signing up for that event, I know a lot of people, almost 200 or so, are already signed up. So while we let some more people do so, let's start this arena draft. And if you missed last weekend, we are trying to replicate some success because we took Lalu to a 6-0 run on stream that turned into a 7-0 off stream. Wait, what? Yeah, it's a real thing. The tournament series is happening. It's going to culminate the first season of the Master Series at QuakeCon 2018 in Texas, early August. 16 players are going to qualify. It could be you. No one has qualified yet, so it's wide open. You have 4 qualifiers to do so, and then the 4 remaining spots are going to be people who performed well throughout the entire 4 qualifiers and earned enough Masters points to be at the top of the list there. Archer, House Dagoth, Tribunal, Temple. You know what, let's go with Dagoth. I still like doing the 3-color thing. It hasn't worn off the novelty yet, and I took Tribunal way too many times already in Arena, so I feel like we're just going to mix it up a little bit. Will it be live? The tournament, well, QuakeCon definitely will be live streamed both days, but for the qualifiers, we're live streaming the Sunday portion, which is top 8, top 4, and the finals, and the 3rd and 4th playoff match, because that determines one of the qualifications. But the Saturday portion is just an open bracket, single elimination tournament. It's going to be probably a 256-man bracket if signups continue throughout the night. So that's not all getting streamed, but the final rounds and the qualifications are. It's going to be a really good broadcast. We've been working with not only Battlefy to have the tournament on that site for picks, bans, and deck lists, but also working with ESL as a production partner. And they've been doing a really good job. I'm excited to see how it looks. I know Justin and Charmer, they're not just casting the event, they're getting flown out to the Burbank studio in California either tonight or tomorrow. They'll be there live casting it with a production team and everything. It's going to be good. It's definitely going to be good. Very excited. And I'm less excited about this pick, so maybe we just take Ash Servant. I kind of like Blood Sacrament with Lulindril Hexmage, but the odds of that happening are just unreal low. For other burst damage, we could just take Savage Ogre, solid 5 extra attack. Dress Spy, Camlorn Hero, or Wild Clumsiness. Again, I think we find ourselves with one reasonably playable card. Shadow Shift versus Lawman is kind of interesting. Even Nixhound is like not the absolute worst because it has Prophecy, but we have the really cheap movement, good utility card versus just this big dumb thing that is actually pretty annoying in Arena when your opponent doesn't have removal. It has carried a couple of games for me before. Is Tessel dead? Well, we're still fully funding it. Been supporting it with 2 developers while we rebuild the client with our new developer Sparky Pants. Supporting a fully fledged tournament scene. Got new expansions that haven't been announced yet, and I can't spoil anything about in the works. So nope, still definitely not dead. You guys will know when I know. Trust me. Dunmer Nightblade, Hellstrom Footpad, and Reverberating Strike. We could take some removal. We could just take a good 2-drop here. I think, I don't know, part of me prefers this Footpad, even though it doesn't have a good effect compared to the Nightblade, just because this answers 2 3s. And there's a lot of 2-drops, 2 3s that people play nowadays, and I don't want to trade unfavorably that early in the game. Arena tier list win. I've sort of stopped updating mine, honestly, but I'm waiting to see more Arena content from the community. Anyone who wants to do Arena tier list, you're more than welcome. I love arena content. I've seen a lot of constructed content and meta snapshots. Haven't seen a lot of arena content. Let's see. Just Blue Ridge Mountains. God, I haven't heard that enough working here. Make sure to keep giving me the lyrics. Scorpion versus Nixox. They're both crazy powerhouses in arena. I think I'm just going to take the Scorpion because removal is a premium for this class specifically. We don't have access to piercing javelins, so we kind of have to rely on these lethal creatures to get the job done. 3 items. Brute Strength, but also Guard, and we can't attack the turn we play this. And not as many stats, but a really powerful effect, whether we're racing or playing defensively. I think this card has the most versatility. It doesn't limit us quite as much as Throne of Line, so let's just go for the Mace. Burning Touch, Ash Oppressor, Firepot Spider. I think we take the Oppressor here. We have a couple creatures already we can utilize with it. We have at least 1 item. Maybe we get more. And Shackle, like I mentioned, is powerful with the Mace or with the Oppressor. Doesn't really matter. Guide with no 0 costs. It does have better stats than the Bruiser slightly. Bruiser can snowball though. And Cutthroat we're just not really going to talk about. So let's just go ahead and take the card that might snowball and potentially win a game. I Love You, Be the New Todd Howard. I think Todd might have a problem with that, but I'll see what he says. Jarl Stefan, how you doing? Jarl Stefan, sorry, I pronounced that wrong. How you doing? Nice to see you here. Is Throne of Line from the Clockwork Story? I haven't made it through yet. I think, honestly, it's kind of hard to remember whether that's from that or Morrowind. I think it is from Clockwork, though. I'm pretty sure. If it's not, it's from Morrowind. Yeah, people are saying it's from the Clockwork Story. So many cards out there, especially when you know about cards that haven't been released. Seda, Neen Courier. It's okay. I think it's probably better than these cards. We already have a ton of 3s, and we don't have a lot of 6s, but there's no comparing Lame Corpus to Scorpion. 2 more attack, 1 less health, no drain, no lethal. This is just a kind of a sad card, so let's take the Courier. It has a little bit of versatility at least. If we want to just use it as a steel sword, we can do so. And here I think I take the Burning Touch for the Prophecy. We already have a Bruiser. Not excited about the first copy. Touch is like slightly worse than Firebolt, but the Prophecy can turn games around here and there if there's a really high priority card to kill with 2 health. Bruiser actually is a pretty good example of that. Oathman, we're getting offered it even though we don't have Endurance because we have Intelligence. Sharpshooter Scout's fine. It's a nice little source of 1 damage, but I really like the Amulet, I think. Not only do we have big things already, we can use it on, well, not so much the Scorpion, but we have other 4-attack creatures like the Camlorn Hero and Ash Oppressor. We can just give those ward, give a solid little buff there. We're really blue heavy too, which is kind of rare to be this much in 1 color in a 3-attribute deck. Stop rubbing it in our faces that you know about the new cards. You guys don't know how hard it is. It's actually not hard at all. I lied. I love keeping secrets from you guys. It just makes it that much more satisfying when I can finally tell you things. Was there any news at the start of the stream? Big news, no, but in case you didn't know, you can still sign up for the Master Series qualifiers, so I'm hyping that up as much as humanly possible because I'm excited to see a bloodbath of just a massive amount of people all vying for 3 qualifications to QuakeCon. It's going to be magnificent. So less stressful for me just watching it happen than actually trying to qualify, but more power to all of you. Best of luck. 3 of you definitely will qualify. I'm excited to see who. We could take the Kaguti. Need more 2s. And this one is objectively a little bit better than the Footpad, so we're getting up there. Eventually we're going to get to some really solid ones. Ooh, this is really tough. Even the Werebat is a pretty good card in Arena, just because 5-cost 4/4 Drain, that's almost Brynjolf. It's pre-buff Brynjolf, actually. I mean, it dies to Lightning Bolt, but it's Arena, so not super common. Burn and Pillage, though, is one of the most fantastic and somewhat underrated cards when you're racing and really beating your opponent down and they try to mount to come back in the other lane and try to race you back. Just ends that right away. But we have a pretty low curve, honestly, and the Sharpshooter, I mean, we're not going to have many opportunities to get a Silence. So I'm actually I'm actually between all 3 here. We could even take the Werebat as our first 5-cost. Very tough. I don't think I would consider this over this if we had a 5-cost already. But Drain is so powerful. You know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take Blighted Werebat over Sharpshooter. Because I say we have kind of a low curve, but it's still kind of hard to weave in a plot all the time in this deck. It's not like we're playing Lawlure or like a Doomcrag deck with a bunch of 0 and 1-cost cards. Kaguti over Corpus, just because it's harder for our opponent to trade into. Could take another footpad. I think it's better than Greaves, slightly. And I definitely think it's better than Courier. We have a lot of 2-cost 3-2s. I mean, they're objectively okay. Sugar Smuggler, it just doesn't have enough stats for me. And this card is, I mean, ideally, our creatures won't be taking too much damage. And our creatures, besides Scorpion, are really attack heavy. So if they take any amount of damage, they're probably just dead. So let's just take the Pawnbroker. Beast Caller. This is a powerful 6-cost in Arena as well. And Fleeting Apparition has a lot of text, but not a lot of text that really helps us. Does the tournament make use of personal card collections, or are decks picked from the full card roster? Well, you'll be using cards in your own collection because you have to sign up and use your own account to play. So, yeah, you have to actually own the decks you want to play. Because right now we have, like, I think last I checked it was 160-some signups, and we can't provide that many accounts to be used, so hopefully have 4 decks that you can bring because it is a multi-deck format. We think that's best for competitive integrity. It's already a single elimination tournament, so we want to make sure the matches are long, people have enough chance to like showcase deck building skill, lineup building skill, and of course, the ever-important playing skill. Good afternoon, Chef Shay. How you doing? Chef Shay. Wow, that is a hard name to pronounce. Thurana's Lawman, a number 2. Sure. I guess. I mean, we've gotten offered 5 million dressed buys. I swear, it really wants me to take it. Could take another Werebat. I mean, I don't hate the drain. This card could be anything, though, but it does involve a 2 Magicka investment that I'm not always into, so let's just take another drain. We should be fine to get aggressive early, and then if we're getting raced, we have 2 Werebats and a Scorpion to fall back on, and a couple ways to buff them up even more threatening. We could take this Assassin. It does sort of delay my ability to go face. We could take Elixir Deflection. It's a fine card for when we're trading, but it is also kind of slow. Maybe we just take a 7-2. Kind of guarantees we get on the board early. We have no other Slay effects, right? So we can't really take advantage of it, though, except for with this exact card. I might just go for the Deflection here. Yeah, let's go for it. See what happens. No neutrals. Let's just take a Cut Purse. And that's a 2-drop that I think is a little bit better than the one we just passed up. And it has Prophecy to boot. Curse by itself, not great. Fighters Guild Hall, already talked about why I don't really want it. Ascended Sleeper, sure. I mean, it has an effect. I don't know how useful we're going to find it because our curve kind of stops abruptly after 6. Besides that, I guess we could go Ascended Sleeper into Lawman, but that requires us to already have a 5-power more creature on the board. But, I mean, it has stats. That's more than I can say for these cards. So let's go for it. And Lightning Bolt, pretty easy. Pretty easy Lightning Bolt. Pretty much whenever you see a Lightning Bolt. And I think we just have to take the Mudcrab Merchant. Now I'm sad I left the Mudcrab plush over at my desk, so can't Mudcrab roleplay this stream. But I think everyone would yell at me if I didn't take the Merchant. Another card that could be any card. Rally? This is a really good item. Just going to throw that out there. I think this card is great. Might even be better than this. But starting with a Rally on turn 1, I'm kind of okay with that. I think this is probably better. It's a little bit worse than Steel Scimitar for me. Not sure. Scion, Dagger. I think I'm going to go Dagger here. We don't really have any 2-cost items. We have this, but I can't really protect this too well with any guards or any items on turn 2. Or even turn 3 besides Mace. So let's just take another good item. That's a tough one, though. We definitely, I mean, honestly, it's not the worst Nimble Ally ever, but it's a way better Scorpion, just because Scorpion always has lethal. Ravenous Croc, sure, another 2-cost 3-2. That could even be better if we put the damage on something we're planning on trading in anyway. This card has like weird synergy with Fighters Guild Hall, right? But we're not running that card for obvious reasons. Dress Tormentor, we do have like 2 shackles. We have the Mace and we have the Oppressor. This is actually okay, too. It could be really good if we have a Lawman out. Or we could be really wacky with it and take the Barrelzar's Tinkering, for which we have a couple decent targets, actually. I'm kind of interested in Tinkering on Lawman. I think Fighters Guild Steward has every possibility of just being better, but Tinkering is way more fun. So my second RNG-dependent card in the draft. We'll have to see how these do. Man, Wardcrafter and Ash Berserker are both so nice. They're both so good in Arena. As good as Ash Berserker is, I mean, we can probably proc it pretty consistently, not gonna lie. But as good as it is, I think I take Wardcrafter here just because the most important turns for this deck are going to be turns 2 and 3. We either play this as a resilient card on turn 2, or we play one of our 3/2s, our opponent answers it with something that can trade, and then we just Wardcrafter, and from there we just get the game. All under our control. Wind up with a Lawman, tinkering it into a Blood Magic Lord, tinkering the Blood Magic Lord into Manticore or something. Yeah, this is how it's going to go. That is definitely how it's going to go. Welcome to the game, Zarlam09. Nice to have you here. Nice to see you too, whoever said that in the chat and then disappeared. Chat was just moving a little too fast there, but thank you for saying hi to me. It's very nice. All right, let's go in. How you doing, Racy? Nice to see you too. Check out Racy Games with Agile, one of our wonderful long-time streamers here.
We have another brave
who's not live right now because she's here. Ooh, Racy, are you playing in this weekend's qualifier? I need to know. Howdy. Nice. No sound? Make sure you don't have it muted. No one else has said that.
Let's find out.
Have you reached Legend? I actually, before I worked for Bethesda, I played this game constantly. I was a full-time streamer for it, streamed 365 days in a row on my own channel. The first time I hit Legend was 4 days after I started playing in August 2016. July 2016? It was in 2016. It was literally 2 years ago. And within a month of playing, I hit Legend #1. Not to brag, but since you asked, and because... Alright, to brag a little bit, maybe. Just a little bit. But I've hit Legend #1 a few times. My Legend rank right now is in the 300s because I've been somewhat busy helping organize a tournament for the past week, but it has been a pain point for me to not really have too much time to even play during lunch recently. I'll do better next season, guys. I did not make you proud. And the beginning of this month was all E3 this and E3 that and showcase this and running the booth here and there. It's just no time to play Legends. But we'll get there. I'll get there again. Country roads. Every time. I can't get away from country roads. Had to be said. Alright. What is your previous experience with CCGs? Before this, I played a number of card games. I started playing card games in elementary school because Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the big thing at our lunch table. You know, everyone has a lunch table card game from elementary school, I feel. And I got into it when I was about 9. Ooh, Rally 2? Oh, wait a minute. This is just better. Because I can take the thief. And then I know what he's going to have. Well, no, it might not show me this. I really want the rally. Yeah, this is what's happening. If it always showed me that, I think it'd just be the take every time. But yeah, let's just go nuts. This is a pretty good board for turn 2. 5-4 and a 1-3? Sure. But yeah, after that I got into a game called Duel Masters, which is not around in English anymore. And that was the first one that I played what I would consider competitively. And yeah, I started traveling. My parents were supportive, and I had friends who were into the games as well. So I started traveling for tournaments out of state for like invitationals and stuff when I was 11. Yeah, I was 11. So I was like, 12 years old, middle school, going to continentals and stuff. It was a lot of fun. So I've always been a card game fanatic. My Twitter bio says card game enthusiast, and it is not wrong. That is a real thing. I'm just going to tinker this because I literally have nothing else to do, and I don't want a 1-3 on the board. We could even get something nuts. It wasn't nuts. But I can't sacrifice this, and then I'd have to turn this into a 3-drop, and a 6-5 is better than every 3-drop in the game. So we're just gonna keep it going. Yeah, and then after that I played a variety of other card games. I pretty much actively played a card game competitively and like traveled for it and everything every year of my life since 11, and except for like my senior year of high school. I took a break to graduate high school and make sure I can get into college. You know, that kind of thing. This is going to just be face damage. That is 6 damage that I'm not going to avoid. I mean, we could take this down and then he trades there, but he's already way ahead of me on cards, so I think we're kind of forced to just maximizing our face damage here. And Balmora Captain it is. Because Rally 2 is absurdly good. And if as long as it lives a turn, we should be fine to play a giant Scorpion or a giant Sleeper. Yeah. I've never played, I don't think I've really played multiple card games at the same time, but I've played a lot of them. If there's especially online card games, because, you know, when that whole trend started, obviously, not that I work on one, but I knew it had to be the future. Combining card games with technology, it is literally the future that I want. So it's great to be able to work on one, and I've played most of the ones that exist, and, you know, I just love card games. So it's a real thing. But yeah, I'll probably start all downhill for CVH from 11 years onwards. Jesus. But I'll probably start competing in a card game eventually. I'm not necessarily allowed to compete in Legends, although I'm very excited to be a part of the tournament scene in many ways. But yeah, it'll probably happen again. Love playing them. Love working on one. I think Legends happens to just be the best card game. Wasn't lying in the E3 speech. But there's a lot of great ones. And if you haven't tried any card game and you're like, what in the world? People are this into card games. I recommend trying a couple. And I think you should start with Legends, because it is just great. Just fantastic. And Rally 2. Hit the sleeper. I think that's actually the worst one. Actually, no, it's not the worst one to hit. I was thinking about playing both of these, but a 5/8 guard is pretty good. And reduces all the costs of these, which doesn't really seem to impact my future turns, but yeah, I've never actually played this card, had it live a turn, and also gotten to attack with it. So this is a new experience for me, and it's going pretty well. Mountain Tyrant. That is just the right size to be really annoying right here. But we do get another Rally too. Ooh, the 6th house amulet. So good! And the ward. Oh. He buffed the Scorpion. Let's play a 5/9 Clockwork Scorpion. Now that card is pushed. So good. Do you know anything about 76? Well, since you've asked, nothing more than you guys do. Nor would I be able to say anything if I did.
You are victorious.
GG. Well, actually, I didn't say GG, so I don't want to be him. We kind of got lucky with the Balmora captain off of a Mudcrab Merchant, which carried the game. All right, let's throw some pack codes in the chat to celebrate the first win of the stream. We're on a great win rate so far. Let's pick 2 winners while I queue up. We have Elmo Chan and Hartox. Just Hartox. I said that twice because I was trying to pronounce it. Congratulations. I'll be sending those codes in your Twitch Whisper messages just a bit after the stream concludes for 2 packs of Houses of Morrowind each. And all you need to do to be eligible for the giveaways is be here, as you all already are if you're listening to me right now, and just following the channel, following Bethesda here on Twitch. Saying GG should never be BM. So this is a good chance to just talk about this while we're queuing. It sounds like it would never be BM, but since I played, as many people did, paper card games before online card games, the comparison can be made to, like, in paper card games, it's typically not a thing people do for etiquette's sake to say GG if they win. Well, they don't, like, ignore it if the opponent says it. Obviously, like, if your opponent extends the hand, you shake it. But, you know, swing for lethal, GG, like, that is definitely something people don't take too pleasantly to. So it's just sort of carried over for me, where I don't really say GG if I win, and I'll say GG if my opponent says it first, and if I lose, I always throw out the GG, unless I just forget or don't click it in time. But that's the general logic that I've followed. Let's take Soldier, I think. Give our opponent Burning Touch. Do we care? Yeah, I mean, maybe we don't care about this though. Maybe I take Touch. I give him this. He plays it. I play Croc. I don't know. It's kind of an awkward, low-impact Mudcrab Merchant there.
Awaiting orders.
It's a good one. Yeah, we can just put the damage on this thing and take a favorable there. He'll take a favorable here, but that's okay. Do we care about a 3-cost Firebolt? Not really, but I mean, it could hit something useful. Like, if he plays a rally creature like the Warclaw Mercenary or something, I think this does more for us than this, because he could still rally despite us having a guard. And there's a lot of rallies in Redoran. The highest possible rally density.
Above all,
Pick me for the winner. I just want to hear CVH try to pronounce my name. Oh, that's never gonna happen now. So we hit here, we play Bruiser, he hits here, we can go for Burning Touch on a next turn, and just really hope that he doesn't draw a guard in the interim. Or maybe we just go for touch on... Oh my god, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. That's the worst. That's gotta be unlikely. It's gotta be unlikely. Just getting into the competitive and deck building elements of the game, been enjoying watching streams of this and learning bit by bit. Awesome to hear, Dark Tiger. Now for me, that's always been like the most fun part of card games, is just, you know, being competitive, trying to get a competitive edge, playing a bunch of tournaments and traveling. There's a lot of different ways to enjoy card games though, but I'm glad you're enjoying it the way that I always have. But yeah, a lot of people just love, you know, as a casual hobby, just sitting down at the end of a stressful day, playing a couple games of Arena, or playing some casual, or, you know, just building fun, wacky decks. That's totally valid as well. I was just sort of raised, I mean, it wasn't like my parents told me to be competitive and everything, but I just started going to tournaments really early, and that's just always been kind of how I play card games. And I love it. Blighted Werebat is not going to trade super well into that, but it will if we play the Deflection afterwards. But do I want to commit to that? Not really, right? I want to play Beastcaller next turn, so let's just play Werebat over here. Definitely want to try to play Beastcaller next turn. CVS is a pharmacy. That is true. Hopefully they didn't put CVS on the screen. Let's see. You're a bit of a spike. A bit. Just a bit. Make his day and say Drzitsky's name. That's how I'm going to say it. I'm not going to pronounce all the underscores by themselves. Wild Beastcaller. In the right, we could get Sanctuary Pet or Territorial Viper. This was a really sad turn for me. It's a lot of powerful items that just happened there. If we played in the left, the Beastcaller itself trades with either one of these. My Viper and Sanctuary Pet options become worse. I don't really know what I'm going to do about that. Like, there's a lot of options off the Beastcaller where I just still can't trade into that, and even like a Mudcrab helps me clean up this side of the board, so I'm going to go for this. Alright, that's huge. Right now, my major concern is just taking 1,000,000 points of damage, but, you know, that fights for the board pretty well. I need to find something... Actually, I did find something large, so it helps the Oppressor shackle this next turn.
Don't step out of line.
I buy my batteries and candy at CVH Pharmacy. Do you just pick some guys and give them rewards? Well, I don't. They do. There are people over there doing it. And it's random, so they're not just like watching you chat and trying to judge you based on that. What is your favorite deck combination? I've always liked Sorcerer. I think Sorcerer is probably my favorite if I had to pick just one. Man, it's tough though. Wow, critical decision. We could eat 6 damage over here. We could just play Scorpion. Scorpion's probably right. I take 10, 12. Well, let's just make that 10. And this turn I can do this and block that. Well, not block it, but trade into it next turn. And geez, I don't know. Next turn I'll play the Ash Oppressor and Elixir Deflection. Double Kaguti? Maybe Lawman? Maybe just Lawman? He's going to play a bunch more creatures, though. That's a problem. And I can only trade into a couple. Alright, Galen, that could be problematic for me in a few turns. Right now, though, it's just a 3-3. That's fine. What deck would you say is great for beginners? Typically, more aggressive decks are easier to build in their correct forms, you could say. Like, if you're trying to build the actual top-tier version of a deck. Ooh, this is a really good turn. So we can go Blighted Werebat, Ash Oppressor. But yeah, I'd look into some aggro decks and see what's out there. I know people are going to be like, oh my god, don't recommend aggro, but, I mean, if you want to start grinding quickly, that it's a pretty good option. And we play both of these on the right. We get a Shackle. And we get a Drain next turn. We can even give it Ward with Wardcrafter or the Deflection. Probably Wardcrafter because it's more Magicka efficient. We get an extra 2 damage, which is also drainable. If you don't know this, creatures with Drain simply states... Sorry, using a lap pad. Drain simply states, when it deals damage on your turn, you gain that much health. So an effect, like if a Camlorn hero or an Odiving gets Drain off of a Mundus Stone, those damage-dealing effects are going to give you life as well. That was unfortunate. Grand Inquisitor with the Exalt. I wonder, he probably Galened this too, which means he could pretty much kill whatever he wants as soon as he draws the Galened copies. But we can see from that questioner there that he did exalt this one. But yeah, that's just going to be nothing but an annoyance later. This is really good, though. Courier on the Oppressor will allow it to trade into that. And we can play the Sleeper. I mean, this isn't really that good. It just blocks a little bit of damage here. Still have to go face, I think. But I should probably clean this up, right? Courier, Sleeper. Yeah, I mean, there's no better play. I wish I could play this, and this to keep this around. I don't think I can. I should probably do these attacks first. I really want to deal damage. I don't think we're pressuring him well enough here to justify the damage, but I feel like we have to. On one hand, we're getting him closer to drawing those other copies of this, which I'm almost positive that he Galen back, but on the other hand, like if we just don't end the game quickly enough, he's going to draw them eventually anyway. So it's kind of a lose-lose, you know, it's Arena, the decks aren't huge, and he did in fact do that. He's exalting it too. He didn't even need to exalt it to kill that. And Burning Touch is not going to get it done. GG. So yeah, that was a really powerful combo. I haven't even really considered using the Grand Inquisitor with Galen before. That's really solid. Really good in Arena, because both those cards are already pretty solid in Arena. Alright, we are 1-1, but even if we lose, someone in chat, 2 people in fact, get to win with 2 packs of Houses of Morrowind each. And the winners are, drumroll, we're getting there eventually. Some people will win, it's fine. Who's the developer behind this game? The current version of the game, Direwolf Digital, but we recently announced a refresh of the client to Sparky Pants Studios, who are the new developers as of whenever that refresh happens. And they've been working on a new build of the game. Again, if you didn't hear anything about that announcement, no one's going to lose any progress, simply like a graphic and UI, UX overhaul, with hopefully a lot more features in the game as well. But yeah, that should be later this summer, I think. Diego F00, or Diegov00, congratulations, and Unbecanter2345. Both of you will get your codes after the stream through your Twitch whisper messages. Check out my puppy emote, how are you doing? That's really cute, Nickel Queen. I like that. I'm always a fan of the cute Twitch emotes. Have you guys met Polka, my seal, and my Netch, who is having a really hard time balancing up there? You often see crazier combos in Arena than anything in Constructed. Yeah, at least definitely more interesting, I think. Or just maybe that's because we're not used to them, right? This is interesting, right? Because I could just play a 2-drop, but it just trades with these. Mudcrab Merchant does trade slightly better. I think I'm going to go with the 2-drop anyway, because I want to be able to play 2 and 1 next turn. I think the magic efficiency is more important than having a 1/1 left over. Seems fine. Betty or Bull? I think that's a Betty Netch. I do have a Bull Netch over in my cubicle. I have a Bull Netch, a Mudcrab, and a Betty Netch. And they were all given to me. It's very nice. And this is a good trade, right? A 2-drop into a 3-drop. I get a slightly better value out of it. Hey, let's Mudcrab Merchant first. And can we give him the Shield Brother? I think so. Let's take this giant mammoth. Unfortunately, our Ornery Kaguti would have actually given it some extra power, but that ship has sailed. We could even just do this. I think I'm going to go for the footpad. Maybe you play some big guard over here, and I need to use this to buff up the Mudcrab. The new dev has a lot of money. Well, I mean, it's a company, but the way the system works is Bethesda, which is us as the publisher, typically pay the developer to develop the game. And granted, this is Bethesda Softworks, is not necessarily Bethesda Game Studios. Like, Bethesda Game Studios is the developer for games like Fallout and the Elder Scrolls series, like, you know, Skyrim and them. But for the Elder Scrolls Legends, it's a card game that is published and owned by Bethesda, but the development work is contracted out, in this case, currently to Direwolf, but then to Sparky Pants. It's all very confusing. You guys will figure it out eventually. It's definitely something to get used to. Are they going to fix the bug in Legends of new cards we already have? I'm not sure what bug you're talking about, or if it's even really a bug. If you're talking about when you're buying packs and opening packs, pulling the same copy of a legendary you already have, that's not a bug. It's working as intended. I'm not going to say we'd never change how that works, but I don't think there's any plans to at the moment. So that's just a drain. Do I care too much about it? I really want to deal with that as well.
Did I stutter or something?
I want the field lane back. I'm dealing that 1 damage. That much I know. And I think I just play this over here. Yeah, I mean, the differences between publishing and development, though, like, it can be confusing because so many games are tend to be under the Bethesda umbrella. But, like, you know, Quake, for example, I don't even know what their situation is, but it's different from ours and it's different from Fallout. Like, there's a lot of different games, a lot of different developers out there. So it can be tricky to get used to. Alright, so our smaller creatures can deal with this pretty easily, but I do want to kill this. So let's deal the damage here and hopefully get Lesser Ward. Not a Lesser Ward.
Nothing will trace.
Wouldn't that have just been great? Ooh, Tinkering. Is that good next turn? I think it might be. I think it might actually be good. Because we have Ash Irvin over here, which is kind of just a card that might stick around until next turn. It's a 4-cost 2/2. Not going to feel bad about transforming it. Will there be new music added with the new UI? I'm pretty sure all the existing music's still going to be there. There might be some new music. I don't know if it'll be right when the client relaunches, but the music itself is handled. Like, music and card art and that kind of stuff is handled through Bethesda, not necessarily the developer. So, like, for like the Dress Spy art or the Saran Pawnbroker art, that's all contracted out by us. Don't kill my 2/2. No. I shouldn't be that excited about it. It's just a 2/2. It was a good tinkering target, but there'll be more. I hope.
So it comes to violence.
Is there any opportunity for me to get a good tinkering? We could play Werebat and tinker it. And get a 6 and a 7. I think I'm just going to hold off and try to get a good Lawman tinker. It's going to be a couple turns from now, but we have the time. Why does everyone think there's going to be a Fallout announcement on a Legends stream? Doesn't that seem strange, guys? Now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Alright, let's play Scorpion in the left. Wait, actually, let's not play Scorpion. We can 2-for-1 his board with a Lawman alone. That's all we need. 5/5 Ward Guard. Gavel's ruining your day. That was a pretty good Gavel. They're typically pretty good in Arena, though. Okay, that was an even better Gavel. He called it. Blue Sky Monster was right. Gavel is actually ruining my day now. Fortunately, and I say this knowing full well the situation could change next turn, Clockwork Scorpion still has just enough health to survive the incoming threats. And we will play Footpad over here because it doesn't really do much for me in the left at all. Even if we played it over there with the idea to like trade, this is going to get buffed next turn more than likely, and this could just attack over my 3/2 regardless. The best course of action would be to acknowledge the Fallout 76 comment. I don't know where this is coming from. No one told me anything, but this is the typical Legends weekly stream where we play the Elder Scrolls Legends. I think the game says Legends. I'm really hoping. And I am the community manager for Legends, so I mean, I could give you some Fallout information, but I'd be wrong because it's not my game. Are you planning to allow us to use premium alternate copies of cards in Arena? I think that would be great. I've been hoping for that for a long time, and I think I've definitely mentioned that to Sparky Pants, and that's on their radar. Whether or not that happens right when the client relaunches is nothing I know of right now, but I know that's something they're thinking about, and I think it's just an inevitability. I think it's just good. We could Sleeper and tinker it into a 7 and an 8, because this doesn't really have an effect for me right now. And I think the way to do it would be to Sleeper, Croc. God, maybe I just play this over here to deal some damage to these things. and then tinker it away. Not great. Not great. I wish I could actually slay with this card right now. What to target? It's kind of hard to tell without knowing what this is going to turn into. Random 8 cost. I guess I deal the damage here. Doesn't seem to matter one way or the other right now. I will sacrifice Footpad. It's by its lonesome. Ooh, I did this in the wrong order. I really should have attacked with that first. Well, I missed 3 damage, but my opponent's at 39, so I don't think it'll come back to bite me. I hope. Ooh. Okay, so it did wind up mattering. That's pretty nice, right? I was thinking like Vigilant Giant would be cool, but not bad. Definitely not the worst. And now I'm hoping I can draw some more mid to late game. My opponent's not really playing things that are too threatening right now. This is actually really solid here. It's going to keep my 5/5 alive and have 2 charges left over. And, I mean, how long can I go without answering that? Because I could play that over here, but then I'm sort of forced to keep warding it up. I'm just going to make this grow over here. And see what happens. That was literally the second time I've ever seen a streamer get excited about Fallen SD Reaver. There's a time and place for everything. Illusory Defenses. Alright, so that's not really high impact either. Burning Touch. That does answer exactly this. And then I'll deal with that one day maybe. I'll either kill it or it'll kill me. I have like 3 turns to go. He's got me on a 3-turn clock. Or I could just draw some more Drain. Or I could draw Wordcrafter.
Victory is ours.
And I guess, I mean, this will just die, so I'll play this over here and I'll ward itself. There's 2 hits to this over the next 2 turns, plus anything I can play next turn will eventually kill that. It'll happen. I used to play Skaven Reaver. That was actually pretty popular a long time ago. Like I mentioned, I started in 2016, and Fallen SD Reaver actually saw a fair bit of play back then. This is not working out. This thing is actually just going to solo kill me. Never mind. That's a blessing. And we just have to do it. And I guess I ward it up with this. Probably put this over here just to deal a little bit of extra damage. He's at 56, guys. 56 to 12. I think we're fine, though. How many cards does he have left? He has 15. We probably have about the same amount. We have 11. I mean, we can kill him in 11 turns. That's pretty easy with the amount of damage we have. It's just about him not drawing another really high-impact card. That'll give me 2 more life next turn. Might be relevant.
There's only so much.
Okay, that's really low impact. That is a good 1-drop. It's not a great 12-drop. He floated 11 Magicka. And we can't play them both, but we can play one.
Victory is ours.
Now, either way, I think we're in a good spot here. This class has a lot of charge creatures and a lot of items and not a lot of burst damage from hand, right? Like no lightning bolts. So this guard should protect this from hitting my face, which might be relevant if we consider that's probably an item, right? What else would he have held? So I think we just play the guard for now. And it's unlikely that we'd die from 12 if we played the Werebat, but just to be safe, might as well hold this in case we need it. It's a long one. If I mouse over cards, the next day they still have the Halo. The next day? That can't be right. I'll support that one to QA right now. Or report that one, yeah. That's the, yeah. If it's, actually that's kind of strange, right? Might be a platform-specific thing. I haven't heard of that one before, though. Assuming you mean the next turn. What is the best way to get started with tournaments? I feel like I would get owned. There's a lot that goes into it, from like the mindset to actually preparing. Without knowing your personal like collection and history with like other card games, it's hard to really say. But it might sound bad, but a lot of the best way to get started is to get owned, you know, because you can't really learn without playing. And making mistakes is a critical part of the process. As uncomfortable and, you know, unpleasant as that might sound, it's all learning experience, and there's going to be a lot of players, literally half of the players in the tournament tomorrow are going to lose in the first round, just because, you know, that's just how games are done. You know, someone wins, someone loses. So if we have 256 people signing up, 128 are going to lose in round 1. And of those, there's going to be some players who've never played a tournament before, and there are likely going to be some long-time, maybe professional card game players, people who've played tons of tournaments and tons of games and are very prepared and know what they're doing. And it could just be a metagaming thing. Maybe they didn't bring the right decks. Maybe they just got a bad matchup or something. But, you know, losing happens to everybody. It might happen more when you're first starting out, but I'd recommend just jumping in, giving it a shot. You really can't lose anything. We don't have an entry fee. Just get in there and see what happens. Because, honestly, if you lose, and unless you are literally the person who wins the entire thing, you will lose some time in that tournament. Everyone except for one person will lose at least once. Even if you do wind up being one of those people, you will probably learn something in the process. One would hope. And I really don't want to lose 2 creatures to this. Do I have lethal? I hope so.
Victory is ours.
I imagine so. So we can get him into 20, or we can get him into 16, deal 10, and then swing for Xaxes. And bypass the last room. Nice. 56 or something to 12. We turned it back around. And we have 2 more winners. They probably thought I was going to lose a long time ago, so they picked the winners way earlier. H Dreams and Descentru. Congratulations. Yeah, they're laughing over there, too. Got them. We're going to be here forever. Alrighty. I announced the winners. I forgot the names already, but it's okay. I'll send you guys the codes after the stream. Check your Twitch Whispers like an hour or so after the stream concludes. What is the command to see the server uptime? I'd try uptime, probably. If that's a, do we have an uptime command? I don't know. I remember when I used to stream on my own account a lot, someone added that. I had some mods, like some friends, and I didn't even know I had an uptime command, and then before I knew it, everyone was using it. When does the new tournament start? The qualifiers are going to be the next 4 weekends, including tomorrow, and they will start at 12 p.m. Eastern. And that'll be the same for the Saturday portion, and when the final 8 players finish the tournament on Sunday. But that information's on Battlefy, and don't ask me what it is converted into your normal time zone, because I am horrible at that. But the internet will help you, I'm sure. Oh no, you don't have to be online to get the codes. Like, I'll just send them to your Whisper messages later. You don't have to be online, but feel free to check them. You'll get the code in your Twitch Whispers. I will send them personally, code by code, to make sure they all get there. Crassius' Fervor. Our last opponent played this too.
You left me no choice.
And it would be nice to deal with this before it eventually beast forms. So I think the only way to do that is just playing the Oppressor in the right. 4-3 beats up on a 1-3 pretty well. And he's playing more creatures so far, but they're all less power. Where's the Bethesda office again? Let me put the address up on screen. Can we? But it's in Maryland, in the United States. That's a Googleable piece of information, though, so no reason to really hide it. Let's see. I'm sorry, Noel. I am the community manager for the Elder Scrolls Legends, and that is what I stream. Could I stream 76? What? Oh my god. Yeah, I think Narth, it was something about YouTube, where that might have just said something vague, and people are assuming it's whatever they want, which is fine. It's not really fine, but it's a thing that's happening, so. Alright, Wardcrafter left, and we just take that incremental value every turn. And what did our opponent even do last turn? Oh, the Crescent. There we go. That wasn't a great Crescent, honestly. Do you have an updated version of your arena tier list? I was hoping someone in the community would just sort of do that, you know, make some more arena content. I mentioned it earlier, but no, I haven't updated my own because I've been sort of busy with the job. I might do. I do want to do an official like arena, some piece of content for like the website or YouTube or something for Bethesda. Haven't gotten around to it yet. I don't know if it'll be a tier list because that's really time consuming. And as soon as I stopped updating it, not only was Houses of Morrowind released, but also like a bunch of cards left the arena pool. Like, you can't get Heroes of Skyrim cards in Arena anymore, so that would take a long time to refresh that list. And I also don't play that much Arena anymore. Like, you guys see me play it pretty much every week, which is a lot to some people, but when I was making that tier list, I was streaming every day, like, literally every day. So I would be playing an average of at least a run a day, like every single day. Like I'd stream 7 days a week, probably 4 or 5 of them I'd play arena, and then I'd play like 2 to 4 runs depending on the day. And they were going pretty well. Like I was in practice at that time, but that ship has sailed. Let's see. I might just use Tinkering this turn. We'll see if it's good. The only reason is because I can turn this into something that might not die to this Warclaw Mercenary, or maybe even stop the Warclaw Mercenary. Murkwater Shaman? Am I happy with that? I could sacrifice Wardcrafter to make it a 5 cost instead, but I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think so. As much as I'd like to ring this out, I really want to ring out Scorpion next turn. Let's just sit on this and make him react to it. He doesn't want this to live, that's for sure. 1 a week is too much arena for anyone. I feel like people fall into 2 camps, right? Where they either love arena or they just dislike it entirely to its core. I've always been kind of in the middle. When I first started playing online card games, and even Legends, I wasn't really a huge arena fan. I played a little bit of arena my first week with Legends 2 years ago just to get the cards, and then I played mostly just ranked for the next couple months, but it grew on me again. It took a while, but when I re-entered the arena, so to speak, I don't know, it became a really fun thing to do on stream. I think a lot of it's because I was streaming full-time, and, you know, playing 40 hours of ladder a week without breaking it up at all can get monotonous, so it was good to have that arena in there as well. Well, we attack over this, and then maybe we want to protect it even with the Ascended Sleeper, even though it doesn't actually get the effect that we want. Or we just play Beastcaller and or Scorpion. Either could be really good here. I mean, there's a lot of good targets for Beastcaller that we could get. Looking at like Giant Snake, Sanctuary Pet, anything with guard. Well, not anything with guard. Some things with guard. I think I'm just going to go for Sleeper. I wish I could justify Ash Servant on that. And I'm not going to give him any cards here. I'm just going to leave him at 22. Play the slow game. See how that works. I initially downloaded this game, then I got sucked into the world of Vicious Card Games Smackdowns. Oh man, we should make that our new tagline for advertisements. The Elder Scrolls Legends, Vicious Card Games Smackdowns. I think right now it's like way less exciting than that. I'm all for that, by the way. This game even has Solo Arena for those with performance anxiety. Solo Arena is great for that kind of thing, right? Like, there's a lot of people, honestly, Solo Arena, you might, because we all sort of live in this microcosm of players that, you know, interact online about the card game, and we're way more likely to be playing PvP, but there's a ton of people who like Solo Arena way more than regular Arena, or PvP ranked, or even like casual against friends. You know, that single player content, it always sounds like, well, theoretically it's great for players who don't want to play against other players, but that is a seriously large part of the market. For real. And I don't know if we have a great turn. We could use Ash Servant and the Curse to double team that Highwayman. We have 2 curses, so we could still curse that too. I still kind of just want to play Beastcaller, let him draw a card, right? I'm going to do it. Like half the time this probably works out better. This was not one of those times. Well, that's awkward. Yeah. Alright, well, we can smack for 3 and still don't want to give him a card, really. It didn't work out super well. Shadowmere is definitely not as good as the 5/7 it gave us last time we played it. Is Ash Servant better than Ash Piercer? I think it's deck dependent. In Arena, I would say probably, depending on the deck you have. Depending on the deck you have built. But in Constructed, I'd be hard-pressed to really want to play either. But probably, I mean, at that point, you're probably building around the Ash Piercer, so probably Piercer. Alright, so we have a clean attack, we have a clean curse, we have a good amount of life. That's huge. and probably his only play. If I mouse over new card... Oh, that's the same thing you said earlier. I can't imagine that's really happening. I've never heard of that before. You mean the next turn? And what client are you using? Are you using, is it PC? Is it mobile? Is it console? It's probably not console yet. Just thought I'd throw that in there to remind you guys that it'll eventually coming to consoles, Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4. It'll just be wonderful. Yeah, I'm still not really into giving him cards, so let's just keep playing defense. Curse that. Easy enough. Any news on new cards that only affect non-effect vanilla cards? Not specifically. I mean, I'm not going to say I haven't seen some whisperings of card designs for future expansion or whatever, but I don't know if that is planned specifically. Like the thing, like an item you could only attach to a creature that doesn't have another effect. I mean, that could be interesting. I watched the Hiking Emirate compilation video of you reviewing Heroes of Skyrim the other day. Yeah. I still love calling cards bad, by the way. I think in my first... I'm sorry, I dropped my cap. But I think in my first ever day here, I mentioned in a meeting how bad some card was. I mean, I love all cards. And cards, bad cards definitely have a place, but it was funny because whenever I call cards like Arena playable, there's usually also giving a reason why I don't think it'll be great and constructed, and that's a good compilation for hearing all of those reasons in quick succession. Is Uncle Pete alive? He's definitely alive. Yeah, he'll be back on the stream eventually. He's never too far gone. New cards in your collection. Oh, new cards in your collection. Okay, there we go. Don't always remember that you've moused over them when you relaunch the game. They'll keep the new tag even though you've moused over them already. I don't imagine there's a fix right for that. I'm sure they're aware of it. But that probably won't be an issue with the new client because it's built from the ground up. So existing bugs and small things like that won't be carrying over to my knowledge. Or at least they should have no reason to. We can actually deal with this. We can just Dagoth Dagger and Ash Servant. And that seems good to me. And I think I'll be playing the Kaguti. Just so I don't give him a card this turn. All of a sudden he prophesies a piercing javelin and my turn just got a lot worse. This will deal its damage eventually. Reason this to trade next turn anyway. Waiting for the prized chicken meta. What do you think about wild format and removing old expansions in Hearthstone? I know other games do it too. I didn't read the end of that, but I know where it's going. Will it ever happen to Legends? I'm pretty sure you would have asked that question. But yeah, I've gotten that a lot. Right now, obviously no news. If we ever do something like a wild format or a legacy format or just standard in general, where for competitive play and competitive laddering, you can only use the last... Most games do a year or two of expansions. If we ever do something like that, you'll know well in advance. Don't worry. Don't imagine it's coming right around the corner and you're poised to lose your collection by any stretch of the imagination. Here I am going to go in because I want to play hero anyway. And I think I just want to play the Scorpion in the right. That's the important part here, in case I want to deal with that next turn. But, I mean, there's a lot of discussion because we want this game to be around for a long time, and even though we're just now starting to really dip into true competitive play with the Masters series, we also want competitive play to be around a long time, and competitive play in a card game with an ever-expanding card pool, I mean, that's a delicate balance, and it's also delicate to keep making new cards that are intriguing and people want to buy without invalidating the old cards, and without introducing cards that just completely warp the meta in some unforeseen or even foreseen way with just better, right? How do you make a card that's better than bad examples? I don't know, what are, Parthenax, Solitaire, Drain Vitality. Will these cards see play forever given an ever-expanding card pool? Not if the cards we keep releasing continue being more and more pushed, but if we keep releasing cards of the relative same power level that just do different things and we don't want to increase the power level, like power creep, then we run the risk of certain cards, like the ones I mentioned, like Drain Vitality and Solitaire and Parthenax and Haunted Manor, and any card that's meta-defining now could theoretically be meta-defining forever if we never decide to either rotate it out or print something better. People want to play the best cards, so if we leave the best cards in the game unaltered and we don't print better cards, then we run the risk of a stale meta forever. So personally for me, I think the only ways around that are extensive ban lists for competition, extensive nerfs on cards, which is just like really off-putting for most new players, set rotations as mentioned, or power creeping cards and making them better and better over time until the game kind of becomes unrecognizable. So for me, I think for competition, set rotation or an equivalent is kind of an inevitability. So, I mean, I would say probably down the road that'll likely be a thing that happens, but I wouldn't worry about it right now. It won't be for a while if it happens. A lot of people have already expressed concerns about the card pool being too big, but I think it'll be a while until it gets to that point. At least a good couple more expansions. Yeah, I don't really care for complexity creep either. Like, there's a reason we emphasize the starter packs and like the new expansions, or not the new expansions, the exact opposite. We emphasize like core set, buy core set if you're just getting into the game. But that said, we still want the new expansions to be something newer players want to get into the game because, right? And we don't want all the cards to have these crazy convoluted effects. But I think it'll be fun to talk to Sparky Pants and the developer team and then the card designers about a good way to handle that. Because, you know, a lot of games, tons of games do set rotations, from Hearthstone to Magic to a bunch more games that you might have played. And it'll be fun to make sure we try to do it in the best way possible, not only for competitive integrity, but for like the newer players and people who just want to collect and people who want to feel like maybe they want to play some standard, but they're really into the old decks and they want to feel like there's still game modes that reward them for having those. Yeah, Shocking Wamasu versus Incano is an interesting one, but like that's not really strictly power creep, because like A, Wamasu never really saw play. B, Wamasu is a common, so it's more balanced for arena. Like that's really the main one, right? Like cards that are common and cards that are legendary are typically a little bit more, you know, they're different, right? Like Queen Burr and Zaya is just strictly better than Anzalil Invader in every conceivable way, right? It's a multicolored card and it's a legendary, which means it has the right to be better, essentially. And if both of these live, they get to win the game next turn. I'm sorry, I really haven't talked too much about my plays this game, but I feel like I haven't had many options. Ever since the tinkering all those turns ago. I really would love to look on a meta without Drain Vitality. And like Drain Vitality is another, it's one of a number of cards that I've talked to the new developers at Sparky about. And, you know, there'll probably be a balance patch eventually. I'm not saying we're never going to balance cards or nerf or buff things, but to handle it long term, for like even cards that aren't problematic in the way that people think Drain Vitality and Haunted Manor and those cards are, let's try to find another example. I don't know, they're just certain cards that, if left unchecked, like people will just play for a really, really, really long time. You know, we have core set cards like that, like Ward Crafter and Lightning Bolt and Shrieking Harpy. I'm just naming blue cards for some reason, but you know, those will likely see play for until the end of time. And there are other cards like that in other expansions. Like if we do rotations and the core set remains evergreen and always usable, they'll still see play. But for cards in other expansions that fit that bill, we can't have that many cards that are just extremely playable for a ridiculously long amount of time.
The longer the odds, the sweeter the victory.
Are you talking about Ash Berserker? I'm not talking about Ash Berserker. Unfortunately. Could Sparky Pants add some cards with descriptions or background information? That's not like a top level priority because the client's functionality has to be, but I definitely think they want to do that. Probably in a way where like you can see that kind of thing in the collection manager, but it doesn't impede gameplay or it doesn't get in the way when you're playing. But let's give away 2 more packs of Houses of Morrowind to 2 more lucky viewers. Valamist and Golthal, congratulations. I'll be sending you the codes here in like probably an hour. Yeah. Before I leave today for sure. How's it already been an hour? Well, these games have been long. I'm so sorry. I actually have a drive after this. So after this, I have to finish a couple things upstairs, one of which is sending some codes, then I'll be heading down to Virginia Beach for a mini vacation until the 4th of July. So if you have any pressing concerns, I mean, you can still reach out to me, but I'll be slightly less likely to respond than usual. But if you're worried about the tournament or you have any problems there, they have a support team on BattleFi, and they'll have ESL admins handling things, so don't worry about that. It's being taken care of. If you nerf Drain Vitality, what kind of card would you give Scout for alternate board clears? Yeah, they don't really have anything besides, like, even Red Brahmin's not really a board clear in the strict sense. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I like the idea behind Drain Vitality, is I think, well, it enables green control decks to live. It's kind of a good thing. think that's a good thing that there are green control decks in addition to other kinds of control decks. But I mean, it's interesting. I mean, sometimes you just don't have a board clear in a certain class, and that can be okay too. Do we want a Dagoth Dagger right now just for 4 breakthrough damage? Yeah. All of a sudden, we are the aggressor. A ladder for Arena? Probably not a ladder for Arena, but I think end of season, figuring out who the best Arena players in a season were for the season, I think that would be great. I don't know if it's... I mean, I hope that'll happen soon after the refresh of the client. I'll just put it like that, because I think that's a great idea. Just going in for max damage. I think that was actually the one game we lost so far, is when we just like went all in for the damage. But as long as we can draw a creature to play next turn, we should be fine. We could have just targeted this, but then all of a sudden, like if he has a ping here, he has an attack here, and we have less damage.
Come dance with death.
Will we be getting new 3-color decks in the new expansion? Probably not in the next expansion, but never say never. Because there are some 3-color combinations that haven't yet been used. We're dealing a lot of damage, but he's going to drain for another 4, putting him at 10. And then ideally I have 4 and 6, so I win. But, I mean, if any one of these creatures gets removed besides the Croc, or guarded against or shackled, then my math is useless. Though we're banging on the door. When is the next expansion? TBD. Well, not TBD, TBA. Either one. You guys don't know about it yet. But there will be more expansions, obviously. Well, it's a pretty good draw. And with that, lightning fast win. Get it? Because lightning bolt. Let's give away some more packs. Yeah, I know, right? Krumka 4 and Keldonian TGC. Congratulations. I'm just not thinking. I'll probably need to order some more pack codes because we're giving away all the pack codes today. That's why you always pick Bolt. Well, our other plan that turn, if we hadn't drawn Lightning Bolt, would have been to probably just deal 6 damage and play a Scorpion, which, while pretty good, I don't think would have threatened lethal the following turn either. So that's good. Good that we were able to draw that. I don't know if there were any other cards we could have drawn that would have mimicked the effect, right? We didn't take the Shadow Shift, so we couldn't have just moved our guy out of the guard's path. We really don't have any silence. So yeah, I think our entire deck is just like creatures and items. We have a mace, which would have been good too, but also not lethal. There's the mace. Do I want to keep it? Probably not. It's better later, I imagine. I'd rather just have like a good 3-drop. So here I'll probably start with the footpad and then go into the bruiser and then probably try to keep the bruiser alive with Wardcrafter. Can we modify our deck list before the tournament but after registering? Yeah, you can modify your classes and you can modify the links to your deck lists. Not during the tournament, but before it starts. So like right now, if you've signed up a couple days ago but you're like, oh my god, I want to change this deck, it's so bad, I didn't realize I needed to test it more. You can totally do that, yeah. I was going to say any more tournament options, but this one coming up sounds pretty cool. I think so too. And I think whoever wins $20,000 in August is going to find it really cool. You guys going to play? I don't know if I know I can't play. I don't know if you guys can't play. Probably not. Probably not. Oh well. Hey, nice to see you, RTC Cowboy. Yeah, that was a good... all the podcasts they do are pretty good. If you guys want to see Justin and Charmer this weekend, they're not doing another podcast because, unfortunately, I made them fly out to California to cast a tournament. So they're a little busy. I actually didn't make them do that. I've been working with ESL, obviously, the production partners, and Justin and Charmer casting the first qualifier on Sunday. They're heading out to California today and tomorrow. It's going to be great. There's probably a question there that I didn't answer, but oh well. What's the fastest win on record? I mean, sometimes you queue up against someone and they just like concede or disconnect immediately, but that doesn't really count. I think there've been some four turn wins. I think we've all at least been a part of one of them. I don't know if there's ever been a 3. Like, there have been concessions on turn 2 and turn 3, but I don't know about, like,
I'll keep a lookout.
his life point hit 0 on that turn. On turn 2 or 3. I don't think so. I really want to pilfer with that. Ooh, it actually does pilfer anyway. So, yeah. Pilfer just says deal damage to the opponent. So that actually gets the job done. If you didn't know. Then now we have an 8-3. Pretty good. When is Sparky Pants taking over? Well, they've been developing their version of the client alongside the current Direwolf version. I mean, you guys can't see it, obviously, but it's been in development since 2017. But that client will become the main one at a date TBD. Unfortunately, I can't give you any more information about it right now, but you guys will know in advance. I'm trying to think if I always want a mace just to keep something alive. Not really.
Your blood will spill.
Oh no. Just be a creature with no effect. Do not be removal. Don't be removal. It's Tribunal. It's going to be removal. That's not good. My entire hand is creature dependent and 8 costs. So while I got my opponent down to 15 relatively quickly, I'm not feeling super happy about that. Now on the bright side, and it's not really a bright side, but it doesn't really matter that it's a prophecy. He just would have drawn it next turn anyway. And it would have been essentially just as bad for me. CVH lose on turn 2 in solo arena. Okay, so I conceded on turn 2 because my opponent had the zoo lane and played 2 Swamp Leviathans on turn 1 and 2, which was not good.
The battle awaits.
I'd be passing out packs like hotcakes. Give me a creature, thank you. I could shackle it, but why? We might use Mace next turn. I definitely feel like Mace is going to be good on anything with Drain. That would be Magicka efficient, but I don't have a creature to play next turn anyway. And if he attacks me for 6, I think the extra card helps me a lot, instead of hurting me. I'm not really at any risk of dying. I'm just at a risk of not being able to win. But yeah, that was, I mean, I'm talking about how can you, I mean, I guess, let's see. So, Chaos Arena, turn 1, you have the ring and you get the zoo lane and you play 2 Swamp Leviathans. That's only 16 points of damage, though. That's only 16 points of damage on turn 2. How on earth are you going to win?
You can tell them you
Only 16 damage. I was thinking like a Swift Strike maybe, but that only gets it to 24. So you can deal 24 damage on turn 2. I mean, does it really get better than that, though? Yeah, I'm just going to start playing defensively a little bit. Not a fan of the monthly card. That's been a lot of the sentiment that I've seen. I'm a fan of it in theory, but in practice it's probably not going to be amazing. But it's a skeleton support card. It reminds me a little bit of Conjurer's Spirit, although Conjurer's Spirit was kind of more fun to build around for like the health gain part of it, you know? So for me, I kind of preferred it. I'm going to play this over here, because if he has like a Firebolt or something, he still can't kill it over here. And then I think I hit face with it and tinker it away next turn. Seems Exalt is the worst of the themes in Morrowind, since other than the gods, no other cards are played. Any chance we can get a balance patch to make them viable? Well, like, if you buff all the Exalt cards, you run the risk of them with, like, most of them are already pretty good in Arena. Like, some mechanics, like Plot, are more of, like, the spike-friendly, gonna impact tournament play mechanics, and some, like Exalt, seem more like the flavorful mechanics, and those tend to do better in Arena. So, like, I think, I'm hard-pressed to think of an Exalt card besides maybe the new monthly reward card that isn't very good in Arena. Like, Grand Inquisitor was putting in some unreal work against us the last couple of games, and a lot of them are really good. Like, the Drain one's good in Arena, tons of them are good in Arena. So, I mean, no, I'm seriously, because, like, honestly, probably more people play Arena than Ranked, so if you run the risk of making something too good in Arena just by making it, well, that's pretty good. See, this is why I shouldn't have played that first, more than likely. But yeah, let's probably just kill it right now. Yep. But you don't want to accidentally make something oppressive in Arena. Like, look at Rally. It's good enough to where a couple Rally cards see playing constructed, just a few of them. And in Arena, everyone, a lot of the time, calls it way too good and snowbally. What do we want to do with this Ash Servant? Anything?
Guess I'll have to kill you.
Don't be Javelin. Just don't be Piercing Javelin. Please don't be Javelin. He's probably thinking to himself, that's a pretty good Piercing Javelin. Come on. Okay, it's just a Lightning Bolt. And I'm really glad he targeted that. This is going to make this so much sweeter. Let's see, though. I don't know. I want to use this as my sacrifice bait. I guess I'll just target this. I don't really have a good reason for that. But I need something to sacrifice for the Tinkering if I want to go all the way up to 10. Hey, look, a Tazcad. Maybe we just stick with the Tazcad. Right? Tazcad's got to be better than most 10 drops. Oh, actually, we could sacrifice this and turn this into a 3 drop. Or sacrifice this and turn this into a 5 drop. That's better, right? Sure. Let's tinker this. +2/+2 in guard. We almost just randomly found lethal here. That would have been so amazing. Let's deal 8. I think that's fine. Honestly, attacking this might have been better, but I don't think this is really going to turn out poorly. Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't just, like, get another 10 drop. We have to sack Tazcad. I mean, sacking Tazcad, it gives us the Durzog, right? It's not that bad, but I'd rather deal a lot of damage. Oh no, my other Tazcads are removed from my deck. Yeah. Unfortunate. How you doing, Pancakes? Look at that tinkering. I know, right? Being able to use the ring on turn 1 in Arena is unfair? I don't know if that's strictly true. How did our opponent start this game? Did he start with the ring? Well, he was technically able to do it, but I don't think he used it. It was a pretty slow start.
I am the emptiness at the center of your home.
Oh, man. Maybe I won't be able to close the gap in time. Okay, for a minute I thought we were just going to find lethal. This is actually not a good Burning Touch at all. To the point that I don't even think it gets played this turn. But he's not going to play any other creatures. Like, I might as well send it somewhere, but it really has no purpose. You already used Ash Servant. Can't combo kill anything with even the best draws. If this was any creature. We don't actually... Well, we could have gotten Daring Cutpurse. Ooh, give me Daring Cutpurse, please. Come on. Cutpurse. Daring Cutpurse for the win. It just takes a single Cutpurse. Oh, man, I saw green. Come on, Cutpurse. I don't even think he needs this attack, because he already has enough damage. Way more than enough damage to kill me next turn. This could actually find lethal, too. Oh, man. Come on. Bladed Werebat. No. Oh, it works! It works! We can buff itself. And just in case it doesn't work, if there's a bug, we're going to shackle the big thing. Bladed Werebat. So good. Alright. We got lucky in a different way. Easy. Easy Bladed Werebat lethal. And Spiral Arts. Spiral Arts. There we go. That's the word. And Sick. Wow, you guys are really putting me through the ringer today. Congratulations. I'll be sending those codes after the stream concludes, which hopefully won't be too much longer. These guys are going to leave. Alright. Should have played around Werebat. I know, right? The Werebat Mace combo. What time does the tournament start tomorrow, Central European? I don't live in Central Europe. I know it starts at 12 p.m. noon Eastern time, so that's like Eastern U.S. time, and there's probably like 5 bajillion time zone converters on the internet that'll actually give you a correct answer, whereas I would not. So I recommend checking one of those out. Yeah, Battlefy probably actually says what time it starts in your own time if you click on it from Central Europe. I imagine. If I qualify, I get to meet CVH IRL. I'll be at QuakeCon. I'll be part of the casting team for that event, so it'll be great. I'll be there helping all of the other wonderful talent we have walk you guys through someone winning, a lot of people actually winning a lot of money for playing Elder Scrolls Legends on the big stage. That's right, the big one. It's going to be my first QuakeCon, too. I don't know if anyone else has ever been to QuakeCon, but I've never been. And my first year working at Bethesda was also my first year going to QuakeCon. And to help run a tournament for Legends, it's going to be great. When you work for Bethesda, they alter your deck so you can top deck that win. So good. I think deck altering cheats would actually be on Sparky Pants' side, or Direwolf's side currently. They're a little busy though. Take me with you to QuakeCon. All you have to do is qualify. I have all the faith. Maybe I mean, this has been pretty good to get the shackle in. Maybe we just do this and keep it alive. Yeah, sure. Deal 1 breakthrough damage, keep your booty alive. Next turn we play another one in a courier. Seems fine. I don't even know what QuakeCon is, I just know it in the context of this tournament. For some people, all you need to know is that it's the place where Legends dreams come true. But it's also a huge convention. This does nothing for me. I mean, it is wounded though, so there's an argument to trade it in now so it can't get leaf lurkered, but that seems like a really fringe case, and I can just deal more damage if I not do that. I also don't know if I want to give him a card this turn. Maybe we just do this and do this. Do you plan to make Legends on VR? I have no idea if that's even a thing to talk about. I do know that, like, there's probably a way you can play it on VR, right? Like, I've seen Beaky do that at least once, so I know it's, like, possible. I don't know how good it looks, but maybe. I know there are plans to put it on consoles, Switch, Xbox, PS4. I know it's already on PC, mobile phones, tablets. Can't really speak to VR. And no, I don't think there's going to be a way to play it in portrait mode anytime. Nor do I really know how that would work functionally. I think I'm just going to play the Oppressor instead of using Burning Touch this turn. Just a 4-3. Yeah, it's not a Legends convention. I mean, QuakeCon has been around since before Legends has been around. But it is going to have a good Legends tournament there to play in, I'll tell you. Yikes. Another Werebat. Just playing our own Scorpion this turn, right? More than likely. He's going to drain some of this back anyway. I think I just do this. Would love VR support for Tessel. I don't know. I've never personally gotten much into the VR stuff. I haven't played Quake since '99. Wow. Well, Quake Champions is going on. He's stealing my drain and my lethal. My god. But he's got a rally, which we can deal with that at least. But then I can't play Werebat, so maybe I just ignore it for now. I mean, that has drain. I can't really race that anyway. I really wish I could play this and this. I could play Savage Ogre, and this will trade with that next turn. Is that as good as I can do? Yeah, I think so. No Prophecy's good. Very good. Someone asked if Justin and Charmer are casting all the qualifiers in QuakeCon. Definitely not just them, because, I mean, QuakeCon is going to be different from the qualifiers in that it's a 2-day tournament with both days being casted, and it's going to be like, I don't remember the schedule offhand, but it's like 7 to 9 hours of games each day, all casted. So asking 2 people to do that alone would just be just really hard to do. If anyone's ever casted at all before or streamed, like, that's a lot of pressure for 2 people. So we'll have a solid casting talent team there. I'll be part of the casting team for the main event. And I'm not going to say they won't be casting more qualifiers or part of the main event or anything, but there'll be more people involved in that process.
Always
Twin Lambs console. A pretty annoying stat line to deal with right now. So we can go Dagger Deflection, and that'll keep it around to deal with that as well. Eventually, I'll deal with Inasi too. Eventually. But it's healing for a lot. This is going to be like the 10th. He's going to be having drained for 10 after this turn or something. Yeah, the Prey stream is going to be Monday, from what I know. Yeah, so I'll just answer all the drop-related questions as one. I mean, I have told you guys on different places that the cooldown was increased vastly. It used to be 7 hours. You can believe that or not, but that was what it used to be, and now it's like way more than that. And it should be way more likely to get drops in the first hour or two of watching a stream. I mean, depending on who you ask, it's still not like a set, everyone gets a drop at this exact amount of time. So people are going to have different experiences, and that leads to me getting questions from tons of different people about tons of different drop-related questions, just because everyone has a different experience with how their personal drops have gone. Next turn I'll word up and trade something into that, whichever one is alive still. But yeah, obviously the system that we put in a week ago didn't exactly answer the viewership problems. First of all, I mean, it did accomplish what we wanted it to accomplish in that AFKing became way less beneficial. Like, if you're asking me, I don't know, you probably, like, if you watch a stream for 2 or 3 hours a day organically versus AFKing for 24 hours, you probably get, like, an extra $1 out of AFKing a week. I don't know. For me, that wouldn't be worth it. For, like, the amount of time you have to keep your computer on. That's just a stat I pulled out of nowhere, but, like, it's not a thing you should feel like you need to do to get value, essentially, is what I'm saying. But it's still happening. Obviously, we're getting a lot of non-active viewership and a lot of non-active streams at the top, and the whole point of changing it was to fix that. So there'll be more changes soon. We're already brainstorming more changes, and we're not afraid to change the system more. For a long time, the system was relatively unchanged, and the non-live viewership and non-live streams were just there, and that's changing because, you know, I'm passionate about the project. We have Sean Baptiste, our new influencer manager, and we're talking about doing a lot of stuff with the people in charge of drops. So yeah, it's not going to be like, oh, they tried something, didn't work, AFK viewership's here to stay. We'll just do something more. We're not afraid to do that. Easy enough. I guess. This seems like a losing game. I'm way behind on cards.
They'll never get the best of us.
But yeah, the first fix was something a little bit,
Take heart, soldiers.
I don't want to say obscure, but it was a small fix. You know, we just changed existing parameters like the cooldown and the rate at which you get drops and certain drops values and stuff like that, obviously. The next one will be more of a, you know, a lot of people who see that change are like, well, that's not going to work. They're not going to actively change viewership trends unless they do something drastic like X. Well, I guess we're moving into that territory, but we're going to keep changing the system and see what happens and what works. But the main goal, as always, is to promote live streamers, keep drops rewarding. We don't want drops to be worse than they are. We do want to make the getting drop experience worse if you're AFKing for a week than actually watching streams, because we want to emphasize live viewership. Never been a secret because we made broadcasts unable to get drops like a year ago. That was so long ago I wasn't even part of that decision because I didn't work here. Any way to do it without totally nerfing them like you did? It's way less common to get drops now, and I did most of my watching live a couple hours a day. I mean, I've seen the system. I actually like input the numbers with the guys who did it, and I mean, the odds to get drops in the first couple hours of watching a stream went up by like, I don't know, like 20-25%, up to like you are almost guaranteed to get one after like an hour and a half. Like you should have probably gotten one, like 80-90% at that point, I think. You are not going to get as many drops if you AFK 24/7, but that was the point, and the average value of a drop increased by like 50 cents, which might not sound like a lot, but you know, you got to think these aren't like super valuable. They're just like a pack here, gold and soul gems here, but the average value of drops increased, and the rate at which you get them at the beginning of watching also increased. The only thing that decreased was the cooldown. Okay, Beast Caller and Pray for Giant Snake to stay alive. Eugh. I mean, we could go Lamin in this. I mean, this is going to keep me alive anyway, right? The Drain. This just pretty much kills these two. Interesting.
Don't be a nuisance.
I'm just gonna play this over here and try to soak up some damage. That didn't help. Calm is not helpful right here. See, this is the problem, right? Like, I can say any stat that exists. I could lie. Technically, a lot of people have said, well, you could just be lying. I have no reason to do that. But, you know, anytime I say any stat that's related to drops, because of the fact that it's not guaranteed at a certain time, someone is going to have not experienced exactly that statistic and tell me that it's not true because they haven't experienced that statistic. So, like, of course, the people who didn't get a drop in a couple hours are going to say they didn't. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's much more likely that you will get a drop within the first couple hours of viewing than it was before. Is it balanced out to the old reward levels, or do you actually end up getting less? If you're AFKing for 24/7, you're getting less. And that trend will continue probably with our future fixes because the goal is to not encourage people to do that. It should not be more valuable to AFK for drops 24/7 than it is to watch live streams for a couple hours a day, because that's kind of how Twitch is intended, right? No one is actually awake and watching streams for 24 hours a day every time. Yeah, this has been a lot of Drain Bloods. And I think this is probably going to seal the deal. I could go for Mudcrab Merchant and hope for like a Dawn's Wrath. Maybe that is my out at this point. That'd be pretty sick, right? Let's go for it. No, it's not a Dawn's Wrath. Oh man, I can't give him either of these. Ah. Giant Snake? Reflective Atomic. Come on, that's not even a real beast. It's an imposter. And, well, we'll let him have the satisfaction of going for it. Can I give anything ward? I guess I can give this ward. Okay, GG.
It has been an engaging hunt.
That means we all get less too? That's not true. If we increase the cooldown, you only get less if you were watching for 24/7. A cooldown being 7 hours versus double that isn't going to affect anyone who isn't watching straight for 7 to however many hours that is. Ideally. No, you don't have to type in chat to be an active viewer. Alright, we will give away some more packs. Timesplitter174 and Happy Trash Can. Congratulations. I'll be sending those codes afterwards for 2 packs of Houses of Morrowind each as we try not to go 5 and 3 before the end of the day. Why not just not let rebroadcasts have drops? Seems like it wouldn't be that hard, as you can see active IPs in the game client and route those to Twitch. It just is not possible. I mean, right now Twitch marks rebroadcasts as live. They didn't mark broadcasts as live, and that's just how it's going to stay. And in the future, you can see in the game, hopefully we'll have an API where like we can link it to who's live in the game and actually playing and connect drops to things that are in the game, but the current client doesn't allow for that. And the current Twitch does not allow for simply saying no rebroadcast, get drops. So if we do something like that in the future, it would kind of have to be manually, where we specifically say that, and then manually put rebroadcast on a different kind of thing. A different, I guess you'd call it a campaign of drops. How do you know if someone's AFK or just lurking? Well, for this it doesn't matter. Giveaways, as long as you're in the chat, you can win giveaways, and I'll send the codes later anyway. But yeah, I mean, we're not trying to punish AFKers or lurkers. Like, we're not going to say if you're not we're not going to say if you're AFK you can't get drops or anything. We just don't want to make it a valuable practice to AFK on purpose for that amount of time. We're not going to say, well, this person was AFK, so they're not ineligible for drops. We just, you know, there are systems we can put in place to make that less appealing to purposefully do. But yeah, lurking and AFKing is fine. You know, sometimes I'm watching a stream and I don't want to chat. Sometimes I'm watching a stream and I just want to walk away for 5 minutes. I don't see a problem with that. You know, life is a thing. And I think I want to split the power and make sure we have a creature with attack. Or 2 creatures with attack, even if one dies. Do I just need to talk in chat to be eligible for cards? I feel like no one has me on the volume right now. Sometimes you get that feeling, right? But yeah, no, you don't. Okay. I think we have to Burning Touch this, otherwise we're losing 2 of our attackers. And I don't want to do that. Okay. And next turn we go for the Werebat, and see where that takes us. 3 damage. Huh. I wasn't aware the 4/4 had that art. For some reason, I thought that was like for the huge ones. Did that change? Either way, now we're both going to have 4/4s with Drain. Because I will be playing mine, I think, and then probably ringing out Scorpion in the right next turn to deal with that.
Close ranks. Let nothing through.
The question remains, where's my Mud Crab deck? Little by little, we're going to release like one Mud Crab after another. We have the Enraged Mud Crab, the Ankle Snapper, the one we have, the Merchant, in this deck. And we'll just have to see the direction the Mud Crabs take in the future. Definitely think we need to play Scorpion. It survives against the 6/6, and we'd otherwise have to trade in both of these to kill it. Yeah, it's not really about Twitch listing you as AFK. None of that is the case. Like, the problem is and has been and will continue to be people deciding that they will just simply turn Twitch on and leave and go to work or go to sleep, and that'll be a good way to get drops. We want to make that a less good way to get drops. We want that not to be better than just watching streams like a human being would typically do so. I guess I should have warded it first now that I'm thinking about it, if we're being honest with ourselves here. But I can ward it right now and kind of get to the same place. But at that point, is it even worth it? Obviously, I should have done it first. There's also an argument to ward this. Otherwise, something dies to that. This would have been better to keep around, but at a 3/1, I don't think it's as valuable as we would like. But I'll keep it around anyway. So I'll throw out... I do want to kill that next turn. But it should be easy to do anyway with the Ogre, unless this dies.
Careful there, friend.
I think this is fine. It's definitely not the right play, but it's as good of a play as we can probably make now. Now, he might go for a trade on one of these because he thinks this will survive unless I use that next turn. Or he might just trade with that, but then I get an even trade. Or he might attach 5 billion items to it and then make me use Savage Ogre anyway. I can't be having connection problems from this room. That's not a thing. Alright, we have a really good Savage Ogre. Fine with me. What about news about the new update? You'll get it when everyone else gets it. Unfortunately, I can't just spoil things yet. How will you measure if there's someone watching or away at work? We don't have to measure that. That's my point, is that we can make things in the system that, like, not measure that, but simply say, with how these drops are given away, it doesn't really make sense for me to want to AFK. You know? We're reconnecting, by the way. So, like, with the old system, the way it was a week ago, people figured out relatively quickly that you get more drops on average if you AFK 24/7 for a week. And with the current system, after our fix, that's less the case. And in the future, we'll iterate on the system to make that just not the case. That's the goal, is to make it not valuable to do so. It's not to say we're going to identify these people AFKing and reward them less. It's to say it doesn't really make sense for me to AFK because it doesn't reward me as much as simply watching organically. Or it just rewards me straight up as much. Alright, we're going in. We have 13 damage next turn, and I don't think we have any way to turn that into lethal. Don't you think Legends will lose a lot of players after the release of Blades? Probably not, because they are entirely different games. It's my personal opinion.
There's only so much that honor can allow.
I don't think we'll make a competing card game in addition to Legends, though. I think that would be probably an issue. I definitely think we should kill that, or at least shackle it, which is all I can do right now. We could just play Lawman. A creature with Drain can't drain if the damage is negated. So there's that. Let's see if I get any insight info on what's the better play here.
Your blood will spill.
Yeah, I'm just going to go for the shackle. I think that's the safest. It's the least Magicka efficient play, but it's the one that definitely means he doesn't drain for 8.
is always a blood price.
Is it going to be a regular grand melee schedule? Being newish, I missed the first 2 events and would love to play high stakes in game tournaments. Actually, there have been 3. But at the moment, I don't have a schedule of that to report, but we definitely want to move into one where people can expect events at a certain time. At the moment, that's not really possible because the client's refreshing soon. So, yeah, all that'll be handled by Sparky Pants relatively quickly. But yeah, in the future, that'd be... I mean, we definitely want to bring that mode back. It's been one of the most popular ones. Nice! The best one. Wow, that's really unfortunate for me here. What in the world? Why, of all things? I was really hoping for, you know, just like Viper. I guess I could have played it left and hoped for Giant Bat or Cliff Racer, which is more likely than just Viper. But I mean, Mud Crab in either lane isn't good, for being honest here.
Your blood will spill.
Well, he's at 1. Can't break through. I can just pass, though. It's gonna drain for 8. Yikes. Oh my god, it's Sean the Baptiste. That's Sean Pine notices you in the chat. By the way, Sean, I thought it just said Senpai notices you for like the first month you worked here. But I appreciate the cleverness of that name now that I've read it. But hey, Sean, if you can make it over to the studio before the end of the stream, you're more than welcome. If not, we'll just do it another time. But Sean is our influencer manager here at Bethesda, which essentially means tag him in all your drop questions. And no one has ever turned off a computer faster. Does Bethesda plan on adding any sort of content producer partnership platform? I think that would be, if it ever happened, I think it'd be more of an overarching thing and not just a Legends thing. I think that would be cool. I don't really know what that would look like, but, you know, again, that's one of those never say never things, right? I think that would be pretty interesting. So now we have to decide whether or not we want to play defensively, because we could just go for Lawman, which is pretty annoying for him to trade into. We can't really pressure this, right? If we attack in the right order, we can deal 1 damage. And then play this and this. And pass. Yeah, so it should be the case where this dies next turn, right? I really hope. It really needs to. He has no runes left. We can attack with impunity. Wow. He does have a 10-10 with ward. If it had drain, though, that'd be way worse for me. We're not going to kill it anyway, really. I mean, Scorpion technically can, but... Yeah, so he attacks there first, and then goes for 10 life! Oof.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Alright, so the situation as it stands is that I never actually killed this card. At least he's not going... I don't know. I mean, he gets 2 extra attack there, and he plays around items. I guess that's why he did it, right? If I got an item, I would be able to trade into that. Yeah, that's a large thing that he has played. Bad Eye Bruiser will answer it. This will answer that, ideally. I'm only going to take 22 if he goes all face, so I'll still be alive.
You have problems?
Wait, did Sean actually disappear? That's really good. He'll be back. What just happened? A Fighters Guild Steward. My goodness. Wait a minute. Okay, no, that makes sense because he has the ward there. Wow. This stuff is massive. This is just a lot of big creatures. Really not into this. Let's see, I'm dead on board if I leave those 2. I could just trade there. I mean, what can I really tinker into, though? 4 cost and a 5 cost? Just a 4 cost, because I don't even have another creature. What is a 4 cost that saves me? I can think of a 5 cost that might save me in Giant Snake, but then he's at 31, and that just buys me a turn. I think I'm going to lose. So if we're going to lose anyway, we're going to go out tinkering. And I'll just sacrifice it and tinker nothing. Wait, I can transform my opponent's creatures too. So let's do it on... Let's give him a Marak or a Devath Fear. Nice. Aw, Devoth would have been cooler, though.
That
All right,
was a
GG.
mistake.
Yeah, we could have just led with the Marok for our opponent and given him our thing. Ash Berserker? I don't think Ash Berserker's turning this around. Or would have turned this around.
Your death will be
But it was a valiant effort. And God, that was a stomping. That was a brutal amount of just huge creatures. Alright, we started out strong. We're ending 5-3, I think. But let's give away some more packs. Just a couple more 2-pack codes to end the stream. We have Immortal King 1982 and DOS 1548. Congratulations, guys. I'll be sending those codes momentarily after I get back upstairs. If you were allowed to play in the tournament, do you think you'd have a good shot at winning? Assuming that I actually tested for it, probably. Given that I can't play in it, I didn't really do any testing. But, you know, if I had enough time to test and actually were given it a shot, then I would do everything in my power to make sure I had a good shot at winning. Alright, let's open some packs. Get anything good before we end the stream? Again, you can sign up today for the tournament. That's tomorrow, the first Elder Scrolls Legends Master Series qualifier. Sign-ups are still open. They'll be open until the event starts at 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. It'll be casted top 8 and beyond on Sunday. 3 people are going to qualify for the QuakeCon $50,000 grand finals in a couple months. So I'm very excited to see how it goes. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Hopefully you had fun. Let's see. How many viewers do we have right now? Don't leave yet. What if... Oh, man, this is like the end credit scene if we do this. I have no idea how many viewers we have, but I'm going to say it's enough for a 60-pack code because we just have so many of these. Let's do it. Let's just give some codes away. Huh? 1150? That's pretty solid. Let's give away a 60-pack code. The end credit screen, they heard me say I was going to leave. Oh, man. Sean Baptiste, I can announce the winner of the 60-pack bundle. Are you leaving?
Do I have to be here for that?
Sure, come on in.
Alright.
Yeah. This is Sean Baptiste, our influencer manager. He's going to...
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, you can read the name right off there as soon as they choose it.
All right, where is it going to be?
It's going to be on the screen, don't worry.
Oh,
They're
okay.
really good at this.
I love
Yeah.
this. This is really good. I'm super excited
As we
about
both
this.
sit the exact same way. I can't do that. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, so the winner
Yeah.
is, or do you want to say it?
No, you should.
I'm so intense.
That's a good one. Congratulations.
Or, AKA, I'm so intense.
Yes, that's how I probably would have said it.
Yeah,
So.
I'm so intense.
I'm so intense. Congratulations.
Congratulations. What are they getting?
That's a 60-pack code.
What?
60 packs of Houses of Morrowind.
That's really good.
Yeah, and you'll get the code in your inbox after the stream. You can give it away if you want. You can use it yourself. Give it to a friend. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or probably just use it yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, can they even hear you? You don't have a mic. I'm so intense one, by the way.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
good.
I can
Yeah.
project my voice.
Just lean into my chest and we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, where were we?
That was pretty much the end of the stream. We're
Oh,
just,
that's
Yeah,
perfect.
that's the end credit.
That's
So
the best
thank you
time
for
to be in.
watching.
Thank you for
From Sean and I and everyone here, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again, same time, same place, next week.
That's right.
Have a great weekend.